Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and this is a 2007 Land Cruiser 100 series. This is a late model, so post facelift. With a 4.7 liter V8 engine. This one was bought from auction here in Japan. It's a right-hand drive one that's going to be exported over to Canada. Let me just double check that. Yep, this one's going over to Canada. This is my first time checking a late model version, so it is a good amount better than the early model versions in my opinion. I actually drove for a short amount of time a Land Cruiser 100 series early model, and I didn't quite like it as much as I thought I would. I love the Land Cruiser, don't get me wrong, but the interior felt quite dated for it being a 2001. And then this one, I feel like it alleviates a lot of what I was concerned about. This is a better package and a more modern feeling vehicle. Now the 4.7 liter V8 in this is the same one that you're going to get in the Tacoma and the Tundra. I don't think the Tacoma. Tundra? I don't know. I live in Japan where we don't have those vehicles. I believe it's in the Tundra. I don't know if the Tacoma got the V8. I don't know. Somebody will know. Timing belt has been changed once, one at 59,000 kilometers in 2014. So in the last 10 years, it's had 120,000 kilometers on it. Also, timing belt changed in 2021 at 148,000 kilometers. So whoever had it last, I think was taking good care of it. It seems to be in really good condition. A few things here and there, which I'll get to. And then it looks like an explosion of coolant in here. And here. And here. You can guess as to what happened there. The coolant was rather pressurized in here. The cap is actually maybe a little bit bent, and so it's quite stiff in there, and a lot of pressure had built up and hadn't dumped its way into the coolant overflow. So I would recommend getting a new radiator cap. It's not going to cause any troubles, but if you go to take it off, you might have some explosion troubles. So let's go ahead and lower the hood. Not much else to say about the engine here. These are, as everyone knows, the 2UZ is a super robust engine. You take the 1UZ and make it even more reliable here for the Land Cruiser. Okay, here's the auction inspection sheet here. That sound in the background, you'd think it's coming from a Skyline, but no, it's coming from a Honda City. Okay, so 2007 Land Cruiser VX Limited. The VX Limited in this case, I just had to look this up for somebody the other day. Actually, the other day as in yesterday. You can get these with air suspension or spring suspension. The VX is spring suspension. The G Limited is air suspension, and the VX Limited is optional air suspension. In this case, it doesn't have the air suspension, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. You can no longer height control it, so you can't set the height anymore. But you have less to go wrong, and air suspension is costly when it goes wrong. So this one here, 184, 831, is a little bit of higher mileage. That said, for a Land Cruiser, it's still it's baby era. These things are meant to last a good long time. Auction grade 3.5, interior grade B. Sales points here, memory Navi with TV, reverse camera, like a rear camera, back camera, reverse something mirror. I don't know what that means. Okay, aftermarket wheels on it, toll collection box, cruise control, and then the report from the inspector says interior is slightly dirty. It's actually really clean. Winter tires on it, and the winter tires are fairly old. I'm not sure how, like with a high mileage car, you would expect more wear on the tires, so these probably haven't been worn the entire time recently. They're a 2006, so an 8-year-old tire. Underside surface rust and 1 part corrosion. It's very minor corrosion and it doesn't bother me. I did check it, and I'll show you more in a second. Very small scratches, small dents, various repair marks and paint wave. And it says marks here from removing the fender, paint cracks here, AU2 on the front bumper, W2 on the back, and AU1 on the back as well with a repainted door. Okay. So let's have a look at it. And for 184,000 kilometers, I'm quite happy with the condition of it. The paint is all really nice. It seems like whoever owned it was taking care of the paint, like getting it polymer coated or ceramic coated. That's good. The aftermarket wheels, I'm not a huge fan of many aftermarket wheels on a 4x4, but I think these ones look fine. It has aftermarket headlights and taillights, more on those in a second. because it's a Land Cruiser, you get a nice hatch and tailgate. You can sit on the tailgate and you can drink beers, but you cannot drink and drive. Here in Japan, if you drink and drive, you're going to be in big trouble. In many parts of the world, they let you drink a little bit, and they tell you how much you're allowed to drink, but you don't have a way of telling how much you've had. And so it's kind of like an invitation to drink too much. Plus, once you've had a few beers, you might have bad decision making and choose to have some more, or choose to drive when you originally weren't wanting to. So it's zero tolerance here in Japan. Okay, so let's look at details. I believe this grille is aftermarket. It could be the original one. I don't actually know too well, but I do know that the headlights are aftermarket because they are a 2-in-1, so your marker and headlight, or one unit. And aftermarket headlights / taillights can be a little bit hit or miss in my opinion, but these ones give the car a really nice modern look, I think. And they don't have any of the gimmicky type things that you'll see a lot on a lot of current aftermarket headlights, like an LED strip that comes up, or like an LED circle that goes around your regular headlight. That kind of stuff I think looks cool, but I think it's also going to force cars to look dated when it gets a little bit older. And then these ones, nice and clear and bright, and they are made out of plastic, but they're in very good visual order. Fog lights are also aftermarket. Front grille has some fade on the top. Might not be able to see it in the camera, but yeah. And then some little chips in the grille. Okay. Coming down this side, our side panel is all excellent, has an aftermarket marker there. But yeah, look how clean that is. It is remarkable considering that this vehicle is, 20 years old or so. Okay, the aftermarket tail lights here have the LEDs in them. Okay. And then the back bumper here has a little bit of damage here in the corner. And so it's dented in there with some flex cracks. Coming down here, also looking extremely good. Good. Mike's struggling to get it on the carrier. Usually he's pretty good, but he hasn't done it in a while. Okay, little paint chips there that have been touched up with touch-up paint. I'm going to show you the corrosion on the underside now. I can only find some on the back panel. I'll actually have to climb under in order to show you this. So right up here, see where my finger is? There's a little bit of corrosion in that area there. Seems like it's all just in that area. The rest of it, like frame, underbody, it's all looking pretty good. There might be a few other hidden areas where there's some corrosion. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'd just go under there with a wire wheel and cut all of that rust out and then paint it, and you should be A-okay. So now let's have a look at the interior. Where's the handle? There it is. And I believe you get a slightly different tailgate here. It says Land Cruiser along the side, or on that trim piece. Same style double gate in the back. Land Cruiser 300 no longer got that. Here, looking pretty good. Has a cigarette burn. That's the 8th cigarette burn. This is one of the big problems with the car, is there are now 8. I thought there were 7 cigarette burns in it. The interior smells like cigarettes, but it's not a strong smell. I gave it a 6 out of 10 for cigarette smells, so it's probably going to need the interior cleaned, and then you can look into like an ion machine for getting the rest of the smell out. It has an extra mat, I guess, if you want to actually do a tailgate party, which is kind of cool. It looks like it's just a universal mat type thing. And then the gasoline versions of the Land Cruisers have a full 7 seats, and you get your own little AC vents up there and control box for it, so you can set your rear AC if you want. The seats in here, not super good for adults. I would say that they're more of a kid's seat or an emergency seat, and then can be flipped up to the sides. By the way, a heavy tint in the windows here. That makes it quite dark on the interior. That cat over there was born in our lot. The cat was born in a Miata that we just have as a parts car in the lot. It's a little dirty on some of the speaker covers. So what happens here is if you get this wet, all of the dust that's on the cover is going to kind of shrink together and make it look even worse. It should be pretty easy to get that cleaned. Interior fabric for the later models is an upgrade over the earlier models, and I quite like it. It looks better and it feels better. And the seats, I'm not sure if it's just me, but they feel a little softer and cushier. You also get a latch here. I'm not sure if that's like your ISOFIX, because it doesn't have the ISOFIX logo, but it looks like underneath here you get some sort of an anchor for a child's seat. Okay. So a place to put your legs. And just like the early models, we've got a triple cup holder here and a rear cushion for your head. Looks like interior lamp has been changed over to LEDs. And take a look at this. Perfect car if you want to wear glasses. You have 4 places for glasses, for sunglasses. I suspect that that's because these are commonly used everywhere in the world, a lot of times for humanitarian aid or for, you know, any place that you need to bring people where it's kind of rocky. And, you know, those places tend to be sunny. I'm thinking Africa here. And you're going to want sunglasses for that. All of these dignitaries, for some reason, they always want their sunglasses, you know, protecting their eyes and all. So same thing here with these seats. The pattern or the fabric on them is nicer fabric. It is a little bit saggy here. But yeah, I think it's a good upgrade for the interior fabrics. Also, your interior gauges here, you saw them a little bit earlier. They have a nice little blue hash mark right at the end. You see that? I'm not sure how well the color's coming out, but that's quite vividly blue in real life. And it gives the gauge set a little bit more of a modern look to what is otherwise fairly simple. Radar detector. Okay, generally pretty clean in here. Your whole center stack has been redesigned for the late model, and so this is a lot nicer looking. The switch gear on it is very simple still, but has a better look to it. And then this area here has the faux wood trim, which you also get over here. And it's nice. I like it a lot. Because it's a proper 4x4, you get high gear ratio and low gear ratio. It's automatic transmission and then center differential lock. You can also get front and rear differential locks, but this one wasn't optioned with it. Okay, this one didn't come with cigarettes. Actually, the ashtray is remarkably clean, and the cigarette lighter's never been used. But it has been smoked, and we know. Let's count the cigarette burns and see if we can find them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yes, it's very dirty in there. 6, 7, 8, and a mosquito. You're dead. That's the second one of the year. And then one more over there, 9. Okay, 9 is the correct number. So yeah, none of them are huge, but it is kind of annoying to have these. The auction sheet, I don't think they mentioned the cigarette burns, did they? Cigarette burns are sometimes missed by the auction inspector. They shouldn't be. Usually not, though. Yeah, no mention of them. So that is a letdown, unfortunately. The good thing is the rest of the vehicle is all extremely good. But the interior has a cigarette smell and there's some cigarette burns. So, as is often the case with the auction, you win some and you lose some. And I think overall it's a very good, clean vehicle for the age and the mileage. So I think we can be pretty happy with it. Well, that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for watching and have a nice day.